The progress element from Clutch Elements is a great way to indicate to a user the state or the current status of something, whether it be the steps in a form or a set of instructions that you're having a user go through. Maybe on submitting a form, you want to indicate to the user that submission is happening. It could also be used in a way to indicate to your users the length of a page by setting up a page scroll indicator. In this video, I'm going to be covering how to configure the progress component that's dragging it out, going over its anatomy and a couple of its properties. Then we'll go into discussing how to style a progress. So let's go ahead and jump into our first chapter here. That's configuring the progress. First, open up the library. And when I open the library, I'm going to search for our progress. And by default, when the progress bar falls into the canvas, you'll notice that it's made up of two parts, the progress and then the progress indicator. When I select the progress indicator, we'll see that the black bar, that's actually a little hard to see, but this black bar is the one that's being highlighted. So that's the indicator and then the overall progress. Progress itself has two available properties. The first is the value. So this is how you change the progress, and entering in a value here will change the value that's being displayed to the user. You also have a max. This is the maximum progress value. So if you don't want to allow the progress to go above a certain number, you'll use this property to set that. So one of the ways that progress is typically used more often is to show the indication of something like the steps or the current state of something being worked on. So I'm going to actually remove this progress and we'll go into a more real world example here. And before I do that, I just want to add a couple. It's going to add a class here, but I think it will be easier if we just add some padding all the way around. I'm just going to give this bit of padding on this demo here. And then I will insert a carousel. So one of our carousels, actually a few of our carousels, you use the progress bar, either the carousel with tabs, where each tab will indicate the progress until the next slide changes. And then there's also the carousel with progress. So use this example to start with. As we can see, the carousel, whenever I click through, will increase depending on the progress of the slide that I'm on. The way that this works is the carousel has a progress that's being used, and the value is being set dynamically to the scroll progress that's being the scroll progress of the carousel itself. So the carousel component exposes some states here, and one of the states is the scroll progress. So as you're working with the progress in your projects, what you would do is you would create maybe a function that keeps track of the scroll position of your site and then exposes that state. Another one that you might want to do is maybe the steps of a form. You would record however many steps there are, whether it's 4 or 5 steps, and then you would turn that into a percentage and then expose that percentage of where you're at in the progress of a form, of a multi-step form, and then you would use it. So if we dive in deeper with this scroll progress, if we then navigate to the next one, we can see that this value basically equals 25%. And so that the progress is now 25% of the way filled. So that's everything that you need to know about the basics of using the progress. It's not a very complex component. It really just takes a value and then represents that value in a way. It also has some ARIA stuff built in to where if there's a screen reader is able to read the progress of something. So you have all of that accessibility and functionality built in with this component. Next, we'll be going over styling the progress, and just for fun, I'm going to reuse that same demo, the carousel here, and we'll just go through the basics of styling. So I'm going to select the progress from the canvas, zoom in a little bit, and what we'll do is we'll just change the background color of the progress. Go with something fun. We'll almost go like neon green. And then maybe we'll even give this a box shadow too, and we'll just get real wild with this. And then the box shadow color. And so there we have an indicator with a little bit of box shadow. And then the other thing that we can do is on the progress itself. Let's give this a default. Actually, we'll just go a little bit further. With progress, we can actually see the bar. And then we can give the progress background, the indicator, maybe a background like, what's another one? Like maybe go with fuchsia. We're going to get real wild with this. And we'll even reduce the height or maybe give this some padding. So we could do one of two different ways. Let's do a little bit of vertical padding, maybe like 2 pixels. Not that. Let's do the height, and we'll do maybe half. Then we can come back here and we'll set this as a flex. We'll center it a little bit. And we're just trying to make this look a little bit more like a neon. We'll also give this a box shadow. All right, it's definitely ugly. It's not great looking, but that's essentially the styling. Like both parts, the background and the indicator, are both stylable. We could even set this to get rid of the border radius. So now everything's nice and squared away. And maybe we want. It's not really anything else that I can think of right now as far as styling a progress, but that's essentially what you would do to work with progress. So you've learned that the progress has 2 parts, the progress and the progress indicator. It also has 2 properties, a value and a max. And then both the progress and progress indicator are able to be styled. Go ahead and leave a comment down below or reach out in the community if you have some other examples of how you would like to use progress, or if you want a more in-depth explanation of how you can use progress in your own websites. Thank you.